What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we will be reacting to 3 creepy true school lockdown stories, and this is by Mr. Nightmare. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it.
This is something you guys have been requesting the hell out of for a long time. It took a lot of time, but I finally found 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns.
Yeah, how hard is it to find a story about lockdown stories? Because I feel like if I search up some lockdown story, I'm gonna get multiple upon multiple results right away.
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the
Oh man, these desks, bro. I hate these desks. Actually, do I? No, these desks are actually pretty comfortable. See, my school, it's got a weird rule where, like, I don't know why, but like desks aren't allowed to be in rows. Like they have to have 2 desks bundled up because apparently the like administrator of my school or something wants like minds to be working together. But I feel like it's all part of their plan to make us into like the perfect working bees. They want to like make it seem like we have the illusion of choice, but really in reality, they just want to like mold our brains into like perfect little bees.
week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us, so everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact
Yo, you doing stuff about Playboy, bro? I mean, I'm not that old, but I mean, isn't Playboy a porn company, bro? I wouldn't know though.
moment it happened.
Matter of fact, let's search that up right now. Playboy. Playboy. Yeah, most definitely it is. Yeah, this is definitely something. I mean, that's how it is, and I guess.
Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually
Yo, that reminds me. One time I was sitting in class, in the middle of a math test, and the loudspeaker just goes like, it says like, lockdown, lockdown. The thing it says. The whole class goes to the back guy, like, yo. I asked my teacher, like, yo, teach, is this a drill? And it's like, I don't know. And I was actually kind of worried though, cause she starts boarding up the door with desk, and like, bro, like. But at the same time, I was kind of relieved since I wasn't doing so good. I didn't even know what I was doing on the math test. I was like, man, my prayers have been answered, but also I might die. Because, like, that's actually crazy, though. Because, like, and I heard, like, another teacher started freaking out, but then, like, everyone started calming down. Like, the principal unlocked the door, so it was a drill. He even said, oh, it's a nice, like, a little building or, like, structure to stop the shooter. But in my opinion, bro, like, if there's a shooter for me, I have, like, every single, like, exit mapped out in my brain. I have, like, I got a map in my head of, like, cause like, I'm on, like, the top floor. No, I'm not on the top floor. I'm on, like, the second to top floor. You go down into, like, an earlier grade level, and you go, there's, like, the windows are unlocked, and, like, you follow out the windows, it leads to the woods, so, like, that's always been my idea of, like a little lockdown thing, and, like, right next to my school is, like, a whole entire, like, wood trail thing, so that's, like, the perfect place to, like, run and hide if there's a school shooter. And aside for interrupting.
laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased.
Lockdown stories always remind me, like, not lockdown stories, like, in school lockdown, you're kind of just all sitting in a corner. It's like, in Minecraft, Like when you got those like little free XP farms, that's basically what you are in like a lockdown situation, because you're just open for like the shooter just come in and like, just waltz right in and kill you all, which is like always like a horrible thought for me. And you probably can't even like jump down because most of the time for me, I'm always on the upper level of the school, and I'm not gonna be able to jump because I'm gonna die. So yeah.
Indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. Two girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the
I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to turn the volume down, bro. And I don't got a headset, so like the volume kind of like, because I don't even got a mic. I use my PS5, like straight up my PS5 controller as my microphone, and that's what I got used. So like, so I just have it plop right next to my laptop, and then I got my laptop playing out sounds out loud, so that's why I gotta keep my laptop down a little low.
classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. And that's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." Two of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door, but eventually he finally continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now this was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening. The staff had done a sweep.
This is gotta be before 9/11, bro. Let me check how old this video is. This video is when does the video come out? 2016. So yeah, it's probably old because like I feel like a lot of schools all have
Of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed the teachers to resume teaching but to keep all the doors locked and to not let any student.
What an idiot. You're gonna resume teaching while there's like a madman, possibly armed guy right outside your doors. You gonna keep teaching? Like, come on, bro. I wouldn't do that.
Leave for any reasons. The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up, for example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone. My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs.
That really wasn't that bad of a story. It was just a crazy dude running around. I mean, I know there's much worse stories out there in the world.
My school has 2 lunch periods. First lunch period is for all 6th graders and some 7th graders. The second lunch
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's 2026, bro. Damn. Ooh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
period is for the other half of the 7th graders and all 8th graders.
So sorry, it's 2026 now. I'm almost a grown ass man, and it's 2026. I'm out here saying 6, 7, bro. I'm so sorry.
The lockdown happened in the beginning of October. The day the lockdown occurred, it was overcast and rainy. During the first lunch period, I heard 4 loud booms. I personally thought it was thunder, but the entire lunch crowd started screaming. I was thinking those kids were just serious pussies, but the campus security came in and started yelling at people to go into the multi-purpose room, and the kids who were in line buying lunch had to throw out their lunch and come inside. Me and some friends went inside the room along with a huge group of other kids. Everyone was curious as to what was happening. Our multi-purpose room is huge, and the back wall of the room is made of see-through glass. When me and my friends were rushed inside the campus, security was covering the glass with the curtains, and there were adults at every exit. My friend Eric was curious, as well as the rest of us, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he said, "You know how right in front of TMS there's those houses?" I replied, "Yeah." "There's this mentally disabled, crazy man that barricaded himself in front of his house, and he's threatening to commit suicide and kill the cops if he's evicted. He was walking around outside of school watching kids in a weird way," Eric told us. It turned out the man was also a registered sex offender, making matters worse. We were stuck in the multi-purpose room for a whole hour, taking up 2 periods. After the whole thing was settled, we were escorted to our classrooms one by one. I later found out that the man lives next to my friend Brandy, who told me about the previous Halloween when she saw the same man at his window cutting his arm and writing in his own
Wait, so if that's all that happened, where the 4 loud bangs come from?
blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you," on his window. Of course, being Halloween, people, including Brandy, assumed it was just for the holiday. But after this horrific incident, we knew this man was mental, and we're glad he never got near us.
That's actually kind of crazy. They were gonna let a registered sex offender live right next to us. Sorry, probably can't see me right now. You're gonna let a registered sex offender live right next to a school? Like, come on, bro. Like that's like letting a kid go near a Toys R Us, or letting like a little kid in a candy shop. You letting a sex offender live right by school. You can see all the people walking by. It's so weird, bro. I feel like that should be illegal. Let registered sex offenders live by schools.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school basement. The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course all the school servers and other computery stuff. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they all helped tremendously in landing me this job. It's been great, until something that happened a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen.
So you just like hide under the desk or climb up on the table, climb up right here, open up the ceiling. There's already hatches right open, and just hide in the ceiling.
I kept my phone on the desk, texting both Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes, waiting for the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here. But I was not allowed to make any calls until I was informed that the lockdown was over. Then, the noisy basement door opened. As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office.
Why would a school shooter go to a basement? Because wouldn't a shooter want to go to the classrooms? Like, this has to be a fake story, because come on.
I sat
Well, unless he wiped out the whole school, which is very unlikely.
up from my seat, wondering if I should call out Gary or Dave. I was eager to get some info from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk. Somebody entered the office but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence. I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment as I clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from
What an idiot. You know what I mean? This school is locked down, and you're not going to turn your phone on silent mode. You're going to hide, but not turn it on silent.
under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me. And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, "Yeah, around that way." Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence before he started explaining he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is fucking crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare. Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness. But thank God the bullet missed me and I made it.
Yo, I'm happy you missed, but yo, how do you kill someone but then miss him on the plane, bro? Oh my God, bro. I mean, I'm happy he missed, but how at the same time, how do you miss? You're right there. You're holding onto him. You should have hit him. But I am happy he missed though.
Upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news, our teacher Mr. Buckley survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but that was never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
Well, everyone, that was a great video. And please make sure to subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. Hey everyone, I also want to end off this video by saying something a little inspirational. And just remember, know your worth, and I'll see you in another one.